Hello everyone, it's Theme Park Avenue. I'm Eric, continuing Universal Orlando reviews today. And I've been doing dark rides and motion simulators and water rides. And while Gringotts is not technically one of those, I really want to review this one. This is my review of Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Before we begin the review, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you know when new videos come out. Now, there's a lot to talk about with this whole experience, so let's get right into it. This is in the Diagon Alley area of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and this is the Universal Studios part of Wizarding World. It is a roller coaster made with a bunch of different manufacturers. It has premiere ride trains that are kind of similar to that of Spider-Man or Transformers. But let's get into the ride. So, the queue, first of all. You enter the Gringotts Bank building that has a giant dragon animatronic on top of it that breathes fire. And that's pretty awesome. The bank itself, so you're in the bank lobby, you see all the bank teller goblins that are animatronics, custom made. And this room looks amazing. It's really well detailed and just looks absolutely fantastic. The chandelier is made of 17,000 crystals. So they really went all out with the queue here. And this is just the first part of the queue. At one point you pass shadows of the main characters, and this is where we really get into the story. They are plotting to break into the vault of, for those who don't know Harry Potter, one of the main villains, Bellatrix Lestrange, and they're going to get a Horcrux, which is like a MacGuffin, from her vault. And this is basically what happens. You go to a pre-show, and what happens here is you just kind of talk with Bill Weasley, who is the brother of one of the main characters, and some goblin bank teller about how you're going to go on a tour of the vaults, and that's cool and all. You go into an elevator that takes you miles below the ground. It doesn't actually, though. It's a static room, but it really does feel like an elevator. So they did a good job with that. And then you go up some stairs after you exit the elevator, and in the vaults, it looks really awesome. The architecture seems just as detailed as that of the main room because there's a lot of great rock work. It looks really cool. You wear 3D glasses on this ride. They are called safety goggles, sure, that's fair. So what happens is you get in the car, and the main opening scene is that Bellatrix Lestrange herself, the villain, realizes that somebody's breaking into her vault, and they think the riders are the imposters. No Among Us reference here. So they think they're the imposter trying to sneak into her vault. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna send you guys falling to your deaths. And this really cool element where the track actually goes downward. And it's kind of like when a track rotates and you go down a different way, or when a track shifts on a roller coaster, but this just sends you downward into a small drop and a couple small elements. You're saved by Bill. Bill talks about how Gringotts is the safest place on Earth. And of course, it's just had to be the one day where Bellatrix's vault is being broken into by the main characters. So probably the least safe day. There's these large, I don't quite remember what they were called, but these large knights, giant things that try to attack you. You fall, but then you get saved again. There's this dragon. Then you keep going through some elements, and then Voldemort, the main villain from Harry Potter, shows up with Bellatrix, and it's like, hey, you guys, tell me where Harry Potter is. I know you saw him. And that's fun and all. So they hit you with some more magic, and eventually Voldemort just conjures this giant fire lion thing. And after that, the dragon appears with the main characters riding it, and they get Voldemort to disappear or something like that. And after that, the dragon helps take you out of the vaults. You go through a couple roller coaster elements, and then you're safe. Okay, so as you guessed, it's a very complex story for a theme park ride. I explained so much stuff, and it probably felt like a Cliff Notes. There's a lot that goes on in this ride. And as someone who initially rode this before knowing anything about Harry Potter, I will admit I was confused. That's the biggest issue with this ride, really. The fact that it has a lot of story to it, but it's a little hard to follow. I do like it, and now that I know Harry Potter, I get what was going on. It's pretty good. It's kinda like Spider-Man in a way in the story, where you're just kind of going with somebody who's not one of the main characters, but then you find yourself in the middle of a big fight. And as far as comparisons to Spider-Man, the main thing is just the rotating cars, but this is not really the same as Spider-Man. One big thing is, even now, when I know what Harry Potter is and know it pretty well, I remember Spider-Man's story and all the scenes and details a lot better than I do Gringotts. That's just me. But as far as the ride goes, Gringotts is very good. The theming, given that this is a roller coaster, is out of this world. So, as a universal ride, this is fantastic. I'd say this is better than Forbidden Journey, personally. However, as a roller coaster, this could be much better. Revenge of the Mummy, a ride I prefer, honestly, has a lot more going on as far as thrilling elements goes, and that's something that makes it a bit better for me. The theming's not quite as mind-blowing, but it's a much more fun ride for the actual thrill elements. That said, Gringotts is absolutely worth a ride. My overall consensus, its theming is incredible. The queue is the best of any ride in the Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure, so best of the whole resort. The story, once you understand it, is very good, and it's just a really strong ride that really keeps you engaged. It's probably the most immersive ride in Universal right now. Absolutely worth riding, my favorite Harry Potter ride, and one of my favorite rides at Universal Studios Orlando. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Comment your thoughts on the ride down below. I'll see you next time.